Hello everybody, this is Daniel with Daniel's Bullion Coins. We thought we'd do another quick video for you this week. Running a day late, but still going on. This is my sweet wife Ingrid here. She's going to
Hi.
ask me a few questions and we'll get going.
Okay, darling. I think we were going to wrap up from last time.
Okay. Yeah,
There was
because
some
there
confusion.
was a little bit of confusion. I messed up my thought process, but the bowling ball analogy. The person throwing the ball is the bond vigilante guy. He's the guy that demands a higher yield, a bigger income for loaning out his money. And he's throwing the bowling ball and trying to knock over the pins, which are the things like the dollar, the Dow, NASDAQ, the S&P, things that the dollar are invested in. So, and then the mechanism that runs down and picks up the pins and straightens them all out and puts them back down is the government is able to control the markets with those mechanisms when there's only just a couple of pins knocked down by the ball. But the debt market, which is the bowling ball, which comprises bills, notes, and bonds. Bills are the ones that are 2 years and under. Notes are 2 to 10, and the bonds are 10 and above, up to 30. So that is the actual debt market. And the bond vigilante is throwing the ball, and eventually he's going to knock down all of those pins, and the government will not be able to reset them up. So that's just a quick analogy, quick wrap up of last week's video.
Okay. Well, what came up this week? Of course, we want to celebrate the great victory
Yes.
in President Trump.
I should have worn red today to
I know,
celebrate, but
I
you
did.
wear red. So yes, we're really
I
thankful.
wear red.
And we're already seeing a huge turnaround in euphoria in the economy, even here at the shop. We had one of our busiest traffic days in here. I've never had to stand at the foyer and direct people to move on, move forward, stand in line here. Never had to have, 15 years I've been here at this location. We've never been so seen so much euphoria in people. Sales were about the same, not so much there. And as far as the coin business was concerned, the coin business actually saw a lot of people coming in and selling. And these are people that need money. They're kind of in unfortunate situations.
Yeah.
They waited to see who won the election before they sold off a little bit of their silver and their gold to maybe take care of some personal situations. So we're not seeing as many people coming in and buying gold and silver or talking about stacking right now. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on it the next few days to see what happens with the market.
Well, what do you think is going to happen in the economy? Even though we've
talked
about it.
I go way out on the conspiracy edge, and I'm going to tell you that I really think that we're going to have a melt-up situation for the next few months. And I have a wild conspiracy theory thought that maybe possibly Biden resigns between now and inauguration, and Kamala Harris is put in as president, number 48. Just a temporary thing, because then she would retire with all the benefits of a president as far as the salary, and she would be in the history books. I think that's something that might happen. It's just
Lord, I hope you're wrong.
I hope. Well, it's just an interesting scenario to think of that may possibly happen.
Well, what about that? What's this mean, though, with Trump winning? Thank the Lord. Okay, what's this mean for the economy?
Well,
what do you think we'll see over the next?
Yeah, I think it's really good for the economy, obviously, because we have the track record that he had previously. And we can look and see that gas prices this morning are already down. We know that permits for drilling have already been flying in. They're stacked up. We had a really unique situation where President Trump visited the White House this week, made a personal visit to Biden. That's never happened before. So we know that things are going to start looking better. The situation has not changed, though.
Right.
We still have a mathematically impossible situation to try to overcome. We still have wars and a lot of hot fires that need to be put out. So aside from a major black swan event, the task before Trump is going to be huge. And I think he can handle it. I think he's capable of
only with God
pulling it, with the Lord, pulling it all together and making it happen. And so I think the melt-up situation where the economy just keeps going and inflation source, you bring in tax cuts and things like that, that's going to be inflationary. So we're going to have a melt-up situation outside of a major black swan
Now,
event.
melt up. Explain what that is.
Okay, that's where the market just continues to climb.
the Dow.
The Dow,
Yeah.
the S&P, the NASDAQ, all these things. Asset values continue to climb. The value of your house is going to go up. The value of your car is going to go up, but the cost of a new car is going to go up also. So
Right.
these things are going to start to climb. Even furniture that we sell here in the antique store, there's going to start to be more of a demand for that, and the prices of that are starting to go up. And it's even hard for us to restock really good quality antique furniture. So you start to see that market climbing,
Right.
which makes it much harder for people in the lower income brackets
Yeah.
that, 70% of their income goes to food and energy.
Yeah,
So
of course,
people who
yeah.
have asset value, they've inherited money or they're sitting on assets, they'll be okay. But it's the working class that are going to struggle.
Yeah, the ones that are on fixed income.
Fixed income people, low income people, they're
They
going to
need
really
to
struggle.
get a side hustle.
The
What you're
side
saying.
hustle.
You need
You've
to get it
got to
going.
have just the smallest thing,
Yeah.
and sell your service and build that.
Yeah.
Instead of making $20 or $25 an hour, get up to $50 or $75 an hour,
Right.
providing a good, high quality, prompt, respectable service.
So we need to talk about too. Right after he was elected, and the news. Okay, he's to be seated. The dollar went straight up, which meant gold went down.
Yes. Well, a lot of people.
That was just the first day.
The
though.
first day. And that's
Yeah.
the trend that we're going to see. We're going to continue to see that the dollar getting stronger. Now, Trump has talked about, weakening the dollar, and that would be good for us in trade and for the gold and all that. But what my thought was to say that what happened was people got ecstatic about the situation,
Yeah.
and they pulled their money out of safe havens, which was the dollar, or they invested in the dollar.
Yeah, they pulled it out of gold.
They pulled it out of gold,
Yeah.
and they went into the market.
Right.
And the dollar gained strength globally as people started putting money into the dollar.
They said we can trust Trump, so he's going to
Right.
make it
They
right.
start
so
to
we'll
see things
start.
getting out of war.
Yeah.
Maybe he could, do something about the deficit. It is
Right.
possible. It is possible to do something about the deficit, but it'll take a long-term commitment, a lot of austerity.
only
Firing
got
some of the
4
government.
years.
Yeah, get rid of some of this waste in government. It'll take some work, but it could be done. Sometimes I say mathematically impossible, but it could be done. But it's going to be a very delicate operation.
Do you
Very
think
delicate.
it could be even done possible in 4 years though? He only has
No,
4 years.
it won't be done in 4
No,
years.
that's what I mean.
Mathematically,
So he might be thinking 4
But he
years.
could put
I
some
only have 4
major
years.
things in place.
Yeah.
And if he can do it without upsetting the economy, keep the melt up or the prosperity going,
Yeah.
then maybe J.D. Vance would be able to step
Right.
in and keep the Trump policies going.
Yeah.
But now, a black swan event would cause the Republican Party to lose, and then we
What
would
do you
go
mean by
back.
black swan? I'm sorry.
Well,
Let everyone
you know,
know.
you can have anything happen. You can have the Russia war escalate. It could actually come on to the homeland. Any type of war could come to the homeland, whether it's Iran or Russia or any of these other countries. Sort of like we had a 9/11 attack. We start having things like
we
that.
pray against those things.
We can have the dollar collapse. We can have a dollar collapse.
Yeah.
We can have the bond vigilantes, rise up. Any of these things that could happen, black
Right.
swan events. You think of
Okay.
9/11 or Katrina.
I see.
Or
Yeah, so
all
make
these
sure everyone. we're on the same
different
page.
things that
Yeah.
happen.
So, you were also going to talk about the poly market. I was going to ask you about
yeah,
that.
yeah. The poly market is where you can go and you sign up for their website, and they'll tell you what the odds are of silver going to $40 or gold going to 28 or 3,000. And what's interesting is to go out 5 years or 10 years and see what the odds are for gold to be at 3,000 or 5,000.
These are just what people have thought. It's just not really.
Yes, you go on there and you vote yourself. You think, what are the
Yeah.
odds of this? And you
What do
can
you think
vote.
people-
And then they pull those numbers together and see what people think. They also look at
It's
technical
interesting.
things and come up with what the odds are. It's just like, for example, Trump has a 95% chance of being the next president. A Kamala Harris 2% and
Well,
somebody else
that's
3%.
already decided
But
anyway.
you know, well, you could go in and buy the odds. You know, if it's 2% and it does happen, you would be
Win the lottery.
You would win the lottery. You put $1 in, you're going to get thousands back. You know that if she became president.
My next question is, I was gonna ask you about this, the type 1 and type 2
Oh,
eagles,
yes.
silver eagles.
Yes,
Now,
that's a
what
good
is
question.
we just found
We just found that out today.
really, yeah,
And
when
here
I
we are,
went
a
up to
coin
get
dealer,
the,
and we just didn't know how fascinating this is. That the Type 1 coin has all of a sudden.
Now, what do you
become-
mean by Type 1?
Type
You gotta
1 is
explain.
19. I'm sorry, 2021 and older.
Yeah,
So
so
1986 all the way up to 1921.
2021.
2021.
Sorry.
Yeah, good to correct me because I make mistakes.
That's okay, Don.
1986 to 2021
Halfway
is
through
a Type
the year.
1.
Isn't it just halfway through the year on 2021? Isn't it the second half they went to
I
type
think it was.
2?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
It was halfway through the year they changed it. So
Yeah.
you have two in
21.
2021. You have halfway was the Type 1 and halfway was Type 2, and
Yeah.
then from there on we have Type 2 silver eagles.
Yeah.
And there was a rumor when they first came out, and I just totally blew it off. I didn't believe it at all. They said there's a little tiny mark on the edge. It's flat. There's just a small little flat area on the side of the eagle coin, the $1 silver eagle U.S.
Yeah.
And they're saying that somehow or another there's some sort of tracking ability in that coin. I don't know. I'm asking you all. Have you all heard this? Do you know anything about this? Put it in the comment. The second question is, why is it so much more expensive now to buy the Type 1s, especially a sealed monster box? Rumor is that the Treasury is using those for re-establishing or backing the dollar. So that's a question for everybody. Has anybody heard any rumors on that, and what do you think about that?
Just for the newbies who don't know the difference, the older ones, the Type 1, on the back, the eagle is very different from the Type 2.
Yes, yes.
And some people just prefer the way it looks better
Yeah,
than
I
the
like.
Type 2.
It's funny. I like the Type 1, but the
Yeah.
Type 2 is actually a lot of people that come in the shop. They prefer the Type 2. So each person is different.
Right.
But what is it about the Type 1 that's giving this security
Right.
preference to the point where a monster box is $700 to $900 more than a Type 2 box?
Yeah.
Why is that premium there?
And the monster box is 500.
500
ounces.
coins. It's a green box, and it'll have a yellow
Seal.
strap on it.
Yeah.
And unopened is $700, $900. Now, an open box is not quite as much, but still has a premium on it.
Yeah, the Type
and they're saying
1,
the security reason is why
Right.
they're that way. So I'm interested to see what you all think, and just put a comment.
Did we
there.
ever comment? One more thing. Did we ever comment how those checkers on the side of the road? You think they're
Oh, yes.
So this
I
could
think
be
we
part
did that
of
last
it.
week. We were talking, I was watching one of these YouTube videos, and they pulled this
Oh,
guy
that's right,
over.
yeah.
And he said, well, I was here, and in reality, the officer was like, no, we've got you in Florida and Arizona, not Virginia and Texas.
But they'll also be able to track what's in your car.
Yes, those things
So we
can-
wonder if that's a tracker.
I've heard that the cameras can actually detect what type of metal you're carrying, whether it's gun metal, a special kind of metal that's used to make guns, silver, gold, and cash can be picked up by these new cameras that they've got behind the new speed limit signs. They're actually cameras.
Unless you do a Faraday
Yes,
cloth.
yeah, the Faraday cloth, and we have a video of that on our other channel.
Yeah. Well,
Any
that's-
other questions today?
I think that's it, darling.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Blessings, everybody.
Bye-bye.